It's day 3 of the World Bowls Champion of Champions singles, and right from an early hour this morning, members of the Browns Bay Bowling Club have been here doing all those things that volunteers do to make sure that a venue such as this looks perfect, and they've done a pretty good job without doubt. So we go into day 3, and at the moment 9 players are unbeaten. 5 women and 4 men have yet to taste defeat, and some of those players will meet in this first round this morning. From the women's section, it'll be Australia against India, neither of them beaten, so that'll provide a winner. Someone tastes their first defeat. And in the men's, we've got for you Australia against New Zealand, and that's the match we're going to bring you right now. It's the national champions of Australia and New Zealand, Lee Schreiner against Aiden Takarua. Sit back, relax and enjoy some great bowls.
Thanks, John. Ka tuku mihi mātou a Bowls New Zealand Aotearoa kia koutou katoa koutai. Mai ki tēnei kaupapa hui huinga. Welcome to the Bowls New Zealand broadcast of the 2024 World Champion of Champions Singles broadcast live from here, the Browns Bay Bowling Club. And as John said, we've got a good one for you this morning. Lee Schreiner and Aiden Takarua, both unbeaten. 2 sets of 7 ends is what they will play. And nothing better than a good trans-Tasman clash to start off a day of bowls here. Lee leading off. Has been here a number of times before. We talk about pre-tournament favourites. Lee's name was one that came up a lot. He's won this event. Starting off on his backhand. Beautiful day for bowls, isn't it, John?
Oh, and I was watching these players with their trial ends, and I think we're going to be in for something special here. They're both just nutting it all the time. So Takarua, with his last bowl in the trial ends, decided that he'd just see if he could draw it to the ditch. And as the marker reached down to pick it up, she didn't need to. It sat right on the edge of the ditch. And I thought, okay, if that's an indication of what we're having today, I'll be quite happy. So Schreiner is playing with aerodynamics, and as you've mentioned, it's such a fabulous performer. And when you've won the national Australian singles title as often as he has, you would expect that he'd be in that Australian team all the time, but such is the depth of Australian bowls, he seldom makes an appearance.
Yeah, back in that senior squad, Lee Schreiner, that was recently announced by Bowls Australia, and I'm sure many supporters watching on with great interest at his results here at the World Champion of Champions Singles.
Gosh, yeah, he's got lots of fans out there, lots of supporters have been wishing him all the best through the various social media platforms, and I think everyone anticipates that this is the match that these 2 players themselves have been looking forward to, even though it possibly won't determine final outcomes or anything like that, because there's still matches to be played. It's one in which you test yourself against the best.
On his backhand.
This green timed about half an hour ago was at 17.4 seconds.
So it's on the slower side. Well, slows.
Yes, explain yourself there.
In comparison to the bottom green here, which is running near 20 seconds, this is one of the slower greens that we have here at the Browns Bay Bowling Club, but certainly it's not slow, John. It's a very quick Maniatoto green. Maniatoto, of course, being a waterweed. It's not grass. It's sort of like a creeper that spreads along the ground.
Oh, what a nice change here from
beautiful bowl.
Yeah.
Well played. Would say he's holding 2 here. Lee's going to come and have a look just to assess the situation. There's nothing but time for these athletes. It's 2 sets of 7 ends and a 3-end tie break, and the schedule very generous with the amount of time that it gives them to play those games, John. So the players are able to really take their time. There's not really the fear of the light going out. We have sunset at about 8 o'clock at the moment in New Zealand, 8:15, and the the bowls has been finished by 5 most days, so you can walk up and have a long time studying the head and still be okay.
And we've got a very competent marker there, Pauline Seaton. She just goes in, had a chat to her. I said, when they go down a lot, it's quite handy if you want to use the lollipops to give us an idea. Now Seaton, you notice when you're standing there right above the jack looking, and then he cast his eyes back, just reaffirming what the situation is behind the jack. So he knows that he's got a bowl there, so that if he can take that
going
shot
for them
out,
both. Oh, what an effort.
Yeah.
Half a bowl narrower. All the pinks were gone, John. That's a statement of intent if ever I saw one.
Yep.
Wow.
Now Takarua still has one bowl remaining down there on the mat.
He's pretty good at this finger measuring business, Aidan. He's got
Yes.
a good pair of eyes. Well, good eyes. A good pair of eyes would suggest he has 4 of them. Sort of. It's too early in the morning. I've only had my coffee.
That's right.
Anyway, he's made his decision. I think it's just a draw on the forehand.
But a perfect draw on the forehand could net him 2. So not much different to what his last one was. Notice he's left the mat down there, and so they're playing with 2 mats.
Yeah, it's interesting. Maybe it's just the standard for this international play. We've commented on it in the last 2 days of broadcast that players seem to just be leaving a mat down each end, which isn't common in New Zealand. And let's see what the story is. Both stalking around the head.
Yeah, he spent a long time finger measuring. He wasn't convinced.
It's a very nice box measure there.
Yeah, yeah.
I quite like those ones.
No chance of them. A more solid platform, aren't they?
That would indicate Lee thinks he's got one.
Yeah, I think so.
What an exciting start to this game.
Yeah.
You know, we've billed it as a trans-Tasman clash because I couldn't think of a third T word.
We have an umpire's measure first up. That's pretty good.
On the first end. Just see if we can watch a replay of Lee Schreiner's bowl. He played a drive shot. He was trying to get rid of both of Aidan's pink bowls and was just a smidgen wide on his forehand. Look at this.
Yeah.
An eighth of a bowl narrower, John, and everything was gone.
So 1 to Schreiner.
So, short end seemed to be the call so far.
So these 2 are in section 3, and they've played 4 and won 4 each. They're also there with Canada. The Canadian has won 3 and dropped 1, and then Spain and Norfolk Island have a 50-50 record. So the other unbeaten teams in the men's are India and England. And in the women, Niue is unbeaten in section 1. And then there's India and Australia, both unbeaten in section 2, and they're playing right now. And in section 3, it's the USA and England. I don't think they play until the last round.
Some big matchups
Yeah.
going on. Aidan leading off on the backhand, opposite to Lee Schreiner. Oh, look at that. What a start.
2 great bowls.
Oh.
You can pick up a little bit of wind noise in our microphone, but honestly, and you see that bush sort of moving around a wee bit, but ground level it's very, very still indeed.
Yeah, it's lovely weather for playing bowls. In the morning, usually in New Zealand, it's not too bad, is it? It's still, the wind gets up after game one usually.
Takarua checking. He's got the bias right. That's habit.
He'll do that every time.
Yeah.
He's played a lot on these greens here at Browns Bay. He's domiciled in Invercargill now, but grew up in Auckland, and that's two exceptional bowls from Aiden Takarua. Look at that, and will we see aggression from Lee Schreiner?
Can I have a look at that, please?
So Lee asking to come and have a look at the head because it's an exceptional circumstance, and that is that Aiden's essentially drawn a front toucher and a back toucher here, John. So just trying to understand what will happen in collision. You can see there the jack just hidden behind that front pink bowl.
He's got a sense of humour.
Now, in the traditional game, you just go for a kill and replay the end. This World Champion of Champions singles, John, if it's killed, it goes on the 2 metre mark, doesn't it?
Yep. And I mean, if he goes this, you might see all 4 bowls disappear and no one's got an advantage.
And just restart.
Takarua just keeps himself relaxed by chatting to his good mate and coach, Tom Tairoa. You'd be saying, watching from afar, you might be saying, "What? That guy's his coach. He doesn't look as though he's any older than him," and he isn't. A very good bowler himself.
Opting for reaching weight, needs it square. Lovely effort from Lee Schreiner. Decisions here for Aiden, because you don't want to make the target any bigger. 2's very good fishing.
So looking for the 2 metre maybe, just in case.
Very smooth delivery. Just going nice and deep. See there from the player's point of view, that's a lovely bowl just to the 2 metre mark.
That's just about on the 2 metre, isn't it? Just shy of it. That'll certainly give him the shot if Schreiner kills this, and you would imagine that he'll play the same sort of shot.
Yeah, they're wide rinks here, so he'll be hoping that the jack stays in bounds if he can just get that front bowl square, John.
Got a bit wider this time.
That was beautiful speed for it.
Yeah.
And
Now he's ended up with possibly the better shot at on the 2 metre. Kept on going, looked to be heading towards the centre line.
So this is a bonus bowl opportunity here, John. Lee's played all 4, I think. And
Yeah.
Aiden looking to score a 3 on the second end.
Yep. That's really good correction, isn't it? Gosh. That's 3 outstanding bowls.
That's as good a bowl as you'll see.
Yep.
Absolutely beautiful.
Good shot of the Taylor logo there, and he has a 3, so that's a fantastic second end there by Aiden Takarua.
A little bit of conversation between the 2 players.
Yeah, and I noticed that too in the trial ends. They were chatting away to each other.
There'll be plenty of mutual respect there.
Yeah.
Long end immediately, John, after we saw Lee throw 2 short jacks when he was leading off. We've seen Aiden go straight to the 2 metre mark.
Well, he had a good warm-up with his 3rd bowl on that end, didn't he? So just from a men's point of view, the champion of champion, Australians have won 5 or 6 of them, with Schreiner winning this, of course, in 2019, which has been mentioned. Aaron Tays in 2017. Scott Thorburn the year before that was at Helensvale. And then one of the greats of world bowls, Aaron Sheriff, in 2010. Brett Wilkie, gosh, a member of outstanding teams over the years. Leif Selby. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times they've won it.
The year Lee won this event, John, I think it was perhaps live streamed on the Bowls Australia page. He played a bowler winner that's one of the best bowls we've ever seen under pressure. Just unbelievable sort of shot that sticks with you just as a spectator. I can't imagine what it's like to have actually played the bowl.
Or to have been on the receiving end of it.
Yeah. A bit upsetting. So correction to be made for Lee here. He was a bit narrow with his first one. That's a very nice correction. Pulled up nicely, so he will be holding the shot.
Yeah, the low one.
This level, it's the players are able to use the markers, John, because all the markers, of course, are very experienced, aren't they? They'll all be umpires as well.
Yeah. Now you'll see probably Aidan break into a bit of a jog as he wants to get there before the bowl stops. Oh no, not today. Oh yes,
oh, there
we
we go.
goes.
There we go.
Yeah.
Holding.
Indicating that Lee is holding the shot, so rinse and repeat for Lee Schreiner here on his forehand. Must have one of the best singles records of anyone in the world, Lee Schreiner. The Golden Nugget, which is a huge and well-known singles event in Australia, John, that's been running for about 40 years. I believe he went back-to-back, may have even done a three-peat the last 2 or 3 years in a row. And that's a field that they bring together the best players in Australasia to contest in a.
Yeah, you've got to be a champion to get in there for a start.
Already, yeah. To be selected is impressive.
Yeah.
To win it more than once and in a row is more so. And a good bowl there from Lee. Holding 2 now. So Aidan has had perfect green the last 2 bowls. Just drifted through that smidgen.
Yeah, just looking to sit that shot bowl. So it does look as though Schreiner is holding 2.
Aiden's closest bowl, please.
Just asking which bowl is the closest bowl of Aiden's.
Thank you.
All that information going into the computer, John.
Yes. Giving him a clear picture.
So he knows he just has to beat that one to score 3 shots here,
Yeah.
Lee Schreiner.
He's done it perfectly, hasn't he? Just a wee touch there will be good enough. And yes, that's a well played, brilliant stuff from Lee Schreiner. Drops a 3, collects a 3.
We've blinked and we're on end 4 here. The standard very high. Kick the bowls back. So Lee dropped a 3 with a short end that he delivered.
Yeah.
Picked up a 3 with the long end that Aidan delivered.
That's right.
What does that mean for where this jack is going to go?
Well, that's, funnily enough, we're just looking at when Aidan put the jack down, I thought, you've just picked up and drawn beautifully with that short end and you've gone long. So Schreiner says, okay, I might have the edge here on the long end, so down it goes.
A lot of interesting dynamics to this game, John. Whenever Trans-Tasman stuff anyway, it has a special meaning to Australians and New Zealanders as we see this beautiful first bowl from Lee Schreiner. But also, realistically speaking, Lee and Aiden have done enough that unless a calamity happens, they're probably going to find themselves in the hunt for post-section.
Yes.
So it must be, it was going to see an attack here with the first bowl. Psychologically, what I was going to say, John, is they must be thinking, well, we might meet each other again. You know, this is just section play. We may be playing, find ourselves in a semi-final or a quarter-final in just 2 or 3 days. Try and work out how each other play. I doubt they've played each other before.
Good placement there.
Yeah.
Gets the drive out of his system with the first.
Backs himself with the next 3 if he was to miss, which he did. Look at this for a switch back. Well played bowl. Aiden Takadua. Snicked the jack right back to very near the ditch.
One up.
That's what Lee sees. What do you think, John? Backhand to the left of your screen?
Well, it's the target there is I just need to beat Aiden's, and it's a 1.5 metre. He's already got the shot.
Thinks he's overplayed it. Just wait for the ball to come onto screen here. He knew he'd overplayed that too. The moment he let it go.
Yeah.
How far short the shot bowl, please?
1.5 feet.
1.5 feet. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Massive feet.
I mean, what I like is now take a shot of where the 2 metre mark is, Alex, and yeah, so you see it's about midway, isn't it? So, say about 1 metre. So, as I mentioned earlier, saw Aidan Takarua drawing to the ditch, and he drew it superbly. So he had a practice at that anyway, and it's all part of the preparation. I might have to draw to the ditch at some stage, as he wanted to then.
Correction time for Lee. We'll watch it from the player's point of view, I think, so get an idea of the track they have to take. So you see there very wide rinks.
I think he likes this. He stopped in his tracks, jack into the ditch. Is he going to carry it? Not quite. Oof, frustrated.
It was a great effort from Lee Schreiner. No more than a foot overweight. And Aiden now having an investigation of the head.
Yeah, so he'll look and say, work out, has he got the 2 metre mark? I'm not sure that he has. He might look at going forehand onto the shot bowl. No, he hasn't got the 2 metre mark. Covered. That is the closest bowl to that chalk intersection, which is the 2 metre mark. And if the end was to be killed, which is difficult from there when you've got the jack so close to the 2 metre mark. This is a very good correction, all those greens let him down a bit.
Yeah.
So he's still two up for Schreiner.
After that shot, that beautiful shot to get a 2, John, he's played a forgettable end here, Aiden Takadua. We appear to have control of the cameras back again, so we can stop the radio commentary. On the forehand, Lee Schreiner.
Just brings it inside Takarua's bowl. Oh, this is extra. This is tit for tat, isn't it? as we saw Schreiner score a single on the first, and then he dropped a 3, and then he picked up a 3, and then he dropped a 2. And so the way we've been going, it's Schreiner scoring going in this direction and Takarua in the other.
Got one bowl to salvage this end. Aiden Takarua on the forehand.
It's only his line with that last one. Doesn't want to be dropping another 3.
No, particularly after playing such a good bowl for the 2.
This looks a bit weighted, isn't it? Might take one out. No,
Oh,
he
dear.
doesn't. No, that's a scratchy head there for the New Zealand champion. You can only see 3 of them. The fourth of them is out of shot. Here we go. Capitalise. And you expect Schreiner to do just that. Oh. Might be lucky here.
Oh,
Maybe not.
well, it might be enough. It might be enough. The New Zealander
Certainly.
in me wants it to not be 4. Wait and see.
There's also these 2 back ones here. You would imagine that the one closer to the centre line takes it. What's he said? 2.
2. Well,
2,
that's much
yeah,
better
yeah.
than 4. And we may have another go. See if we can get that replay of Aiden's bowl that he played on the previous end for 2. Cannoning Lee's bowl into the ditch as we put the 2 on the scoreboard for Lee. Look at this. That bowl at the bottom of your screen, he got it absolutely square. Happy days.
Put both those bowls in the ditch and the jack. And he ended up with 2 shots out of that. So the thing that impressed me most was that weight. He didn't go screaming at it, did he? So 6-5 to Lee Schreiner. And we're playing the 6th end, 6th of 7 ends in this first set.
Time absolutely zipping past in this match. Handy first bowl there. So this is the direction where Aiden's really been finding his touch, isn't it, John? So he'll be hoping that he can score another multiple. Good bowl.
Similar line coming in. They're enjoying coming on this hand. Interesting, you know, on the first day we saw players really struggling using that hand, that side of the rink, I mean.
My ball in relation, please.
Half a bowl short of that level.
There has been 2 days of play here at the Browns Bay Bowling Club, and we're changing the direction of play every day. In theory, that should only improve the green, really, John, because it's nice, evenly worn and well looked after. They water them almost immediately after play's finished, don't they? Make sure that they stay at nice green. Willing it down.
Yeah, just looking to reach Schreiner's, or in fact, as it turns out, just go past there. Just won the difference on the score.
Decisions here. At least thinking, is Aiden's bowl low enough that I could get unlucky if I clunk into it? Am I better to play the forehand to trail the jack back?
I was wondering forehand, you know, even coming under slightly to sit that shot bowl out. You've got 3. Just that's where he's going.
Trying to
forehand.
find the percentages.
So movement of the jack is to his advantage, of course. If he's slightly narrow, he sits that pink bowl.
It's essentially a perfect bowl there from Lee Schreiner.
Great bowl.
Lovely weight. It's his weight control for me. Just so enjoyable to watch. Hayden 2 down here is short bowl, probably 1.5 feet short of the jack at 11 o'clock. Just saw him just check with Thomas. Okay, if I just hit
He
something.
might go this, is he? No?
Yeah.
Better wait.
On the backhand.
Jack.
Look at this!
clean.
Look at this!
Yeah.
Oh, lovely bowl from Aiden Takarua. Jack in the ditch. An eighth of a jack narrower, and it would have gone square, but he'll be pleased with that, John. It's that New Zealand style of play, a bit more aggressive than what we've seen.
Some of the Northern Hemisphere players will be looking at that and say, okay, so that's either you, as we've said, draw or drive, pretty much.
Oh, sorry.
Just waiting for the to know where the jack know
Yeah.
where the jack is.
Yeah.
I suppose it's helpful.
When he looks at that, he'll think, I've got quite a bit of room, except that the majority of the bowls are in his backhand line probably, so he'll play forehand.
I think the mark of there, John, was just being patriotic. I won't tell you where the jack is.
Yeah.
It's from the player's point of view, so that white marker by the Toblerone to the right is where Lee's looking to draw to, asking it to hold. It's going to... When's
One
it going
more
to stop?
roll
Is it going to
and
stop?
It is the perfect
Oh,
bowl.
what a bowl.
Yeah, that's great.
That's exceptional stuff, and if Aiden can find a way to get rid of that, he absolutely will.
Well done, greenkeeper too, by the way, because often you'll find when it gets to about that close to the edge, the bowl will not stop. Might have another go at this, will he?
Just that controlled weight.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So great bowl there from Lee Schreiner when he was at least one down, and he saves that. So the sixth end produces a two-shot advantage now for Australia's national champion Lee Schreiner. He leads by 7-5.
A lovely bowl. Great game. Two the difference, so 2 required for Aiden Takarua to draw the set, 3 for the win. And where's the jack going? Oh, that was with a bit of a dump. I wonder if that was on purpose. Sometimes you do to slow the jack down. If it's on a quick green, you go, I'll just dump it a little bit. Other time to dump the jack, John, is if it's raining. Because if your green's puddling and you're trying to deliver the jack smoothly, it often falls short because you're trying to go through the water. So you sometimes have to lob it a little bit.
To bounce it along. Dumping the jack doesn't do quite as much damage.
No, not quite.
So the sequence has been broken here. We've seen for the first time one bowler win successive ends, and we're on to the last end of this first set. Schreiner up by 7-5. Coming this way previously was something of a disastrous end for the New Zealander. It was lucky to only drop a 2.
The standards of these people are incredible, John, because Lee's played a bowl there that's maybe 3.5 feet away from the jack, to which most bowlers would go, yeah, it's a good start, I've got 3 more bowls. And Lee was disgusted with himself.
Wasn't he? I was just going to comment the same, just in the little box we had there. Schreiner just dropped his head as if to say, how on earth could I be so wayward? He'd be quite happy, though, that it's still the shot. Well, that might travel on into the ditch.
Oh,
Did it? Not
hang
quite.
on.
Hang on, okay.
Hang in there. Correction time.
We certainly brought his green up a little bit. the same. Oh, and again, there you see, he's just not happy at all.
Just thinking, what have I done?
Yeah. Why did I put the jack there?
It's probably more that he played exactly the same bowl twice, John,
yeah.
so there's no correction there. Aiden he switched to the backhand here, isn't he? Because it was the forehand when he dropped the 3, so he's thinking, well, maybe I'll play the backhand coming in this direction. It might be easier to pick. It's down to the weight. Needs it to pull up any time. Sit down. Oh, it's not the end of the world.
I think Lee Schreiner will be quite relieved about that. This quality of bowls, he would have expected to be at least 1 down after his first 2 bowls.
And his decision now, again, is forehand or backhand, John, because if he plays his backhand side, there's a better percentage chance of the head improving. The forehand, he can move the jack towards Aiden's bowl.
And also, I think, you know, I thought he'd brought his line in slightly on his second bowl and it stayed there, so there's that little bit of doubt in his mind about what's happening out there. Even more doubt now.
Interesting. They're all just that few feet away, so Selassie, Aiden needs to score a 2, so this is the bowl here that needs to be counting. Smooth out of the hand.
Young man, he's been an outstanding bowler since he first took up the sport.
He's one of those that's grown up on a bowling green, John.
Yeah. Again, look at this.
Needs it to dive. Good bowl. That's handy. There's chances now for Aiden Takadua to score more than 1 shot. And Lee's still holding on there as indicated by the marker. You think's been thought about here, John? It's interesting that every bowl's past the head, isn't it? There's nothing short.
Yeah, it's quite remarkable, really. It's not as if this is the first end that they've played in this direction or in this length. I think they've had at least one other that was long, maximum lengths. You see where the mat is.
Look at this walk back. Such a long. I've always felt it's a long walk back to the mat once you've looked at the head.
It's not so bad if you've made up your mind, definitely, when you've been down there. But if you're wandering back thinking,
These
not
doubts
too sure, yeah,
swirling around.
A long time for the doubts to come in. Also a long time for you to change your mind.
Right, so we're going to see Lee on his forehand side. He's had a look at the head. He's trying to prevent a 2 down.
So look for a narrower line. He just needs to, well, no, he doesn't need to be narrower. He just needs to be perfect weight.
Even short is good.
Yeah.
This is close here.
Yeah, that's better.
Happy with that. You know, that's another counting bowl. He's holding 2 shots now.
So the situation now is that there's no use Aiden just drawing the shot. He has to get 2 out of this. The only way he can get it is those 2 bowls in the centre, the 2 pink bowls, them coming into play, or one of them at least coming into play.
It's almost on his forehand, which is to the left of your screen.
Are they the 2 back bowls? Are they the closest to? They're not the 2 metre, but no, well away from the 2 metre. Here we go.
Needs it square. Oh, just half a bowl wide.
That's 2.
Lovely effort, but that first set, John, is going to go to the Australian player, the Australian champion, Lee Schreiner, potentially with a 3 there. 2. So the score on that first set, 9 shots to 5. Lee Schreiner takes the first set of 2. A fascinating little 7-end game there, John.
And new match starts now. 9-5. Schreiner draws first blood between these Trans-Tasman champions. Schreiner, the Australian champion, previous winner of this World Singles Champion of Champions event. And Aiden Takarua.
For the alliteration alone, I do wish we could think of a third word, a T word, trans-Tasman something.
Yeah.
That I could, all I could think
Tyros.
of. Yeah,
No,
I
that's
thought champions or clash, but neither of
No,
those words go with
Trans-Tasman
something.
Titans.
Titans? Oh, that works. Yeah, good call. That's the closest we've got, John.
Suddenly ping, ping, ping on your phone, Alex.
Lee on the back end. We've spoken a bit about what the difference a set makes. Max, the cameraman's just suggested a trans-Tasman takedown. That's not horrible. Probably better sticking to the camera work, but nice to have the contribution.
Yes.
The second set, John, was what I was talking about, and the psychological difference it seems to make to players when you have a bit of momentum and then suddenly you're on the second set and it's just like you're starting from scratch. Measure.
Oh gosh, yeah, from our camera we would have thought that was definitely the shot, so it just shows how difficult it is to spot. That's when you need to bring your drone in, Alex. Just
Yeah.
hover above it.
Oh, apparently Sue Way's got one going for free.
Yeah.
He knew immediately that that's just on a slightly high line, although his weight's very good, so it may trickle back.
Look at him. How, well, I misjudged that.
Oh, he was, to be fair, he's 6 inches wide.
Yeah. Nice position though for Takarua. Well, that looks to be tight.
He's,
from his previous line.
if he's added a bit of weight, he's okay, because it'll clunk on to his
Own and push the
own
jack
bowl.
back. No.
No.
Lee will stay on the back end.
Adjusting his world bowls cap. Now, Takarua might be quite happy with where his last bowl went. If this didn't quite reach that jack, might have pulled it across to where he was. So still a measure. Change of hands here for the New Zealander.
We're not sure who's holding the shot.
No, neither of them's gone down. They've taken
He may follow
Marcus'
this
word
bowl.
as a measure. Is he looking? Oh, yeah, well.
Close here, Aiden Takarua. Inside out off the both of Lee's bowls. Needs it to. Oh, wow.
Great shot.
He would have been hoping that would turn just an inch more, John. We'll fold both Lee's bowls out, sit there for a couple. But he may have done enough for the shot, I think, John. Folding the bowl that was in the measure out. What are your thoughts?
We'll see what Lee is looking at here is 3 green bowls and 1 pink, isn't he? He'll have had a look to see whether he's got it or not. That'll be interesting to know.
Yeah, if he's down, we know he's got lovely weight control, Lee Schreiner. He could still play the backhand with maybe a metre of weight. Doesn't really matter which side of that pink you hit. It should spring back in the 5 o'clock direction. If you get it at the right angle, Aiden's bowl would roll away. He could be holding 3 in about 25 to 30 seconds.
Yep.
Or he may be looking to chip it off clean based on this.
That looks, yeah, that's a different sort of setup for him.
Chip it off clean would be just as exciting. I think that's the decision here, John. Big speed.
This is good single stuff, isn't it? Yeah, missing. Oh, so he's definitely allowed Takarua to gain 1 shot here. And I don't think Aiden will be playing the backhand. I think he'll look at that forehand.
but he's drawn the shot with the backhand.
Lee just playing the bowl. He's almost indicating, he's like, oh, maybe I pulled it across on the forehand a little bit. I quite like that shot selection. You know, we've got both of these players have such a full range of shots available to them. You know, you give them a rock, they can
play
draw it.
backhand and just draw it dead. I think that cloth of Lee's has been around a while.
Tend to agree. Bonus bowl time for Aiden Takarua.
Well, inside that green one will do it for him.
Needs to hold.
No, no. One it is. And that was the first end of the second set. It seemed to take forever. So 1 to the New Zealander. These two unbeaten players. As I mentioned, there's only 9 unbeaten players at the end of day 2. And in the women, it was Niue, India and Australia who are playing right now. And United States and England. And in the men, India and England, and these two teams here.
If you have found this broadcast this morning on the Bowls New Zealand YouTube channel, thank you very much for finding us. If you want to stay in touch with the broadcasts for the rest of the week, and we have a finals day that's going to be broadcast for free as well as tomorrow, please subscribe to the Bowls New Zealand YouTube channel. You can watch 3 games tomorrow and 4 games on finals day. We'll do the men's quarterfinal, the women's quarterfinal, and then the women's final and the men's final. Very much looking forward to that. And great to have you with us at 9 o'clock in the morning in New Zealand. So I think it's 7 in the morning in Australia, depending on which part of Australia you're talking, because they're a massive country and have divvied themselves all up with the time zones.
Apart from Queensland, I think.
Yeah, I've got it.
They don't go.
I tried
saving, I don't think, do they?
I tried to work it out, and I got
did you?
immediately confused and said, "Well, it's 9 o'clock in the morning in New Zealand."
Yeah, sort it out yourself.
You can Google it.
So the other nations that we will be showing today are Wales, South Africa, Japan, and Singapore. There'll be players who'll be featuring in our live coverage later today, as we see Takarua drawing a shot.
He's done enough.
He had a bad time coming this way, and it's interesting. The jack is on the 2 metre, but the mat's come out a bit further than what it was when he struggled going this way the previous end. And you see that tighter line that Schreiner's gone for.
That's such a nice bowl.
Yes, it is. Because last time coming this way, he had 2 that just hung out there. So that's the old the experience of these players, just remembering.
Because this bowl of Lee's low, Aiden can use it because it's a low of the jack, so the target's psychologically, well, actually it's in reality it's a bigger target, right? He just needs to get down onto the bowl or the jack with reaching weight. He's in the area here, John. He's in the area. Needs it to turn. Oh, what a mighty effort. And still there for Aiden. But now it's his bowl that's low.
But usable.
Yeah.
So Schreiner, what does he do? Just puts another one down there.
Yeah, it's about changing the shot, I think. You don't want to leave the same shot on for Aiden, so if Lee could draw a front toucher or just stop in that gap on the inside of Aiden's pink bowl, he's going to change what Aiden would have to play.
Here he goes, inside of Aiden's bowl, and he'll flick it out.
Something like this, John.
Yep.
Literally perfect.
Yeah. So it certainly does make life a bit more difficult for Aiden Takarua.
Well,
so he might look at inside of the centre pink bowl, you know.
If Lee's holding 2, Aiden could legitimately look at just smacking the bowl that sits at 11 o'clock of Lee's. You can get rid of both of them. If he's narrow, all 3 bowls could go, and Aiden's got 3rd and 4th. May look to be very aggressive here, or based on that, why? Oh, I'm not sure. We'll just wait and see. I think hit.
We'll need to hit something. Oh, just a fine line. That was a bowl width. So a couple of shots here. Schreiner is holding.
Aiden's closest foul on this side in relation to Jack, please.
Lee just trying to find where the best 3 is.
So with that information, he knows the picture. Oh no, he's not too clear on it. There's a slightly fuzzy outline.
He'll find the
just
picture.
Go down and have a look.
He'll find the picture out soon. I quite like this. You know, the players have so much time. There's no time limit. And it's only 2 sets of 7 ends, John. So the day's got hours left in it when they're finished. I am in support of just taking your time when you are actually playing the bowls and making sure you're having the right decisions. So he's just trying to figure out where can I put a 3rd shot that isn't dangerous. Aiden's played all 4 of his, so it's literally just finding the best bonus bowl. We'll possibly consider playing the backhand instead of, doesn't want to be wide and lift Aiden's pink bowl at 9 o'clock up and over to go from 2 up to 1 up, I think is the concern.
Yep, that looks a good option. Coming down the backhand, but no, he's decided that's the value of going down and having a look at it. You have to be very unlucky to nick Takarua's bowl in. Coming in nicely.
Yeah, this is lovely effort here from Lee.
Inside that'll give him the shot. Oh, and that might be enough. Well, we'll see.
Don't think he's made it in for 3, but it was well played. Ensured that he missed on that slightly narrower side. Two conceded immediately by Aiden Takadua.
Yeah, so close. They're going to measure. Two it is. That was a very good last shot by Schreiner. So he goes into the lead and 2-1. Coming up to the 3rd end of this match between the Australian and New Zealand champions.
We've just ticked over 1,000 people tuning in to watch this on our Bowls New Zealand YouTube channel, so thank you for tuning in. A reminder that we are broadcasting live for the rest of the day, all of tomorrow, John, and then 4 games on finals day on the Bowls New Zealand YouTube channel and Sky Sport New Zealand. Lovely check length there.
Of course, with it being a Thursday, a lot of clubs are holding galas and
Is
so
it
on
Thursday today?
Yeah, apparently so. So a lot of bowlers are out there and they flick in later on to have a look. But we know we've got good audience in Australia watching one of their favourite players, Lee Schreiner, in action. He's got a big following.
Oh, he's just one of those, and Aiden is getting that reputation as well. But there are bowlers that when you see them in a draw, you think, oh, if I'm around, I'll make sure I just go and sit and watch that game.
Yeah.
Because you know that something special could absolutely happen. They just have that little bit of magic. Aiden on the back end. Both of these players too have a background in what we call indoor bowls in New Zealand, John. So Aiden's won a number of Auckland titles, and when we say indoor bowls in New Zealand, we are talking about what you call indoor bias bowls in Australia and carpet bowls in the UK and Scotland. They are small bowls. They are 3 7/8 of an inch. Whatever.
Yep.
Size is what we play with on a 24-foot long mat in New Zealand and 30 feet in Australia and the UK. And both Lee and Aiden have had a lot of success in those codes as we see that shot there. And what that really means, or what you could argue, is that when you see some of the spectacular snooker shots that are often played by both of them, the indoor bowls, because it's an easier game to put your ball where you want it to go, often you learn how to see those plants and whatnot. So we see Aiden on the back end.
Jack's moved quite a bit off the centre line and back off the 2 metre mark where it was. So a finer line needed. Inside that would be a good line for him.
That was nearly amazing.
Yeah. Good read. His first ball was wide. Now Schreiner sussing it out. Just holding that 2-1 advantage, but this is only N3. This is one of those fascinating matches.
It feels like Aiden's half an end behind, I think. You know, with the scoring power, he lost that first game. Not really 9-5. He was sort of, I think he lost it by about 2 really, and he played that last shot. But a fascinating matchup, as you say, John. And Lee just maybe slightly. If you did the win percentage thing, I would give Lee maybe he's probably on 65%.
Yes. Predicting.
Or the worm. Well, that's for politics, isn't it? The worm.
Or politicians. Politics. Nicely.
How low is my ball to Jack, please?
So Aiden had perfect green with his previous bowl and just needs to add the smallest amount of weight to draw the shot. Tighter line. Much tighter line. He was disappointed with that bowl. You can see as that bowl goes off screen, he actually corrected his weight very nicely there, John. It was just the green. Just feels like an end that's an important one to win for Aiden Takaroa.
Not sure what something seems to be upsetting Lee. I know now he's just taking his green, but I don't think he'd be worried about movement down there, is he? Or,
hard to tell. I'd never
Yeah.
look that far up the green, so it doesn't bother me. But
No.
all the time in the world here.
Yeah. He just needs to take off about a metre. He's taken off a bit more than that, or quite a bit more than that.
Could see the moment he let it go, he just thought,
Yep.
ugh.
The same with the previous one from Takaroa. He knew that his line was awry. He's just wanting to come in between his pink bowl and the Australian's bowl to the right.
On the back end, Aiden Takaroa making sure he's taking his green this time, which he has done. If he's got the weight, John, it's perfect.
Perfect. Oh, and a little bit of help. That's good.
Oh, lovely bowl, and the crowd goes wild here at the
Yeah.
Browns Bay Bowling Club.
A single there, one blue lollipop, held up by our marker today, Pauline Seaton. And this intriguing match is now level at 2-all, having gone, the first set having gone to the Australian by 9-5. So this time the Jack goes down almost to the 2 metre again, and where's the mat? He's oh, okay, so they're quite content to play similar length, both these players. Takaroa has opted to play his backhand. Okay, so he's had a bit of difficulty coming this direction.
Trans-Tasman tussle.
Yeah.
I've had like 5 people. How to not think of tussle, John?
Well, we're not very smart.
No. Oh well, it's becoming more. It's becoming more clear. Goodness gracious me!
Remembering this green on this hand, this direction, trainer just pops one in there. Nice close-ish bowl opening up.
It's interesting that Aiden's struggling. Well, it's interesting that he's playing his worst bowls coming in this direction because, as you say, that there doesn't appear to be any wind here this morning. Must just be that slight difference.
Happier with this?
Good bowl. That's a really good correction there from Aiden Takarawa.
Schreiner changes to the same side.
Well, it's looking interesting. It's when it's going to cut that's the question, John.
Last ball in relation, please. Like dead level. And my ball, how far off is it?
Great communication.
Yeah. You sort of like to know, I don't know about you, do you think that you want jack level, so front edge of the jack lining up with front edge of the bowl, is that what you'd say is jack level? So front edge of the jack and half the bowl is in front of that. That's, you know, that, and when you look at it there you think, oh, that looks like it's half a jack.
So that bowl there of Aiden's, if it doesn't sit down, is half a bowl jack high.
Yeah.
Is what we would say in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in every other country, jack high means jack level.
Yeah.
And
my ball out here is that. What's that in relation to Jack? Level.
It's quite testing for.
I wouldn't.
Marker,
I'd be like, how about you come and have a look?
Yeah,
Check for yourself.
But they've got faith in the umpire and the marker, and they've asked some good curly questions, haven't they? They've demanded.
We're going to see aggression
some
here,
accuracy.
John, or are we going
I'd
to
say so?
Yeah.
Yeah. He can get both those.
Oh, that actually tracked out against the bias. Interesting. So yeah, they both do go, John. If you look at that, and it's actually possible to get them both without any jack movement if you were just to get Aiden's pink pole. But even with the jack, the 2 metre respot, big chances for Lee Schreiner, and we know he's going to go again. So it'll be interesting to see what Aiden opts to play. Yeah, does he draw to the 2 metre mark to try and cover that, or does he try and draw a front toucher and change the shot? I'm not sure. We'll wait and see.
Neither of his bowls are touches, are they?
No,
I don't think so. No. So Schreiner has the closest to the 2 metre. If Aiden can sit that bowl back, then he would have the closest shot to the 2 metre.
Yes.
And that's what he's planning to do, and that's what he in fact does.
Go.
Oh, no.
Don't sit back down.
It's sat back. So Schreiner now knows that he's got the 2 metre mark covered.
My question would be, is it 1 or 2? It's 1 pink, isn't it? If it's 1 to Aiden, you actually can't draw. Lee would have to draw on his forehand, and he's probably still going to drop 1 shot. So it's actually dangerous to draw him. I think if he's backing his drive, John, to be within a foot, we'll just see him go it again. Because you're not going to be worse than 1 down.
No. So that's an indication that Takuru is holding 2.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. I just really wasn't.
I think that's what it is. That's what prompted Lee to have a crack with his previous bowl. Now, that's a compact little head there. He's taken a long time down on his haunches, and as he does when he's going to play with weight, he goes down, bounces up. He missed with his first effort, just pops the cap back slightly, doesn't want the peak in his vision. Goes it. And smacks them. And oh gee. Well, you know, fractions of an inch involved in that.
Such a great effort. And we'll watch a replay of that as soon as we can, because he was within half a bowl.
Yeah.
And a little bit, well, not unlucky, but unfortunate if you're watching Collision. The bowl he hit, because he got the right side of it, actually went up the green and removed the bowl of Lees.
Yes.
That was supposed to be the shot when the dust settled, John. So 1-2, Aiden Takarua.
We've got 3 ends left in this second set. This first set went to Lee Schreiner of Australia. It's a round, what have we had, 3, 6, round 7 match.
Yeah, lots of matches.
Yeah.
I've lost count.
But the most anyone's played is 5. That's in the men's section. 4 teams have played 5, of course, wouldn't be 3. Malaysia, Cook Islands, Hong Kong, China and Turkey have all played 5 matches. But there have been buys naturally. Good starter there from Takarua. See by the delivery how slick these greens are. You sense that Schreiner, he's just almost just letting it fall out of his hands, and that's not the case at all. It's needing something. We said we timed it at about 17.5 seconds earlier this morning. So Takarua just likes to know how far short his opponent's bowl is, so that he then knows whether there's a chance of him knocking it up. He had played a couple of narrow shots coming in this direction last time. With that weight, he is in danger of knocking it up, and he has done.
Yeah, be a bit disappointed with that.
Yeah.
Still holding on to the shot. Decisions. I think the backhand's the call here, but he's on the forehand side. Oh, it's just as good.
So Takarua in the background there, you noticed that he was just berating himself, having played a narrow bowl, and he'd played those couple of narrow bowls in this direction last time. Square onto this, and that'll probably give him the shot. Yep, so you would say, let's see, a blue, oh no, looks like a blue went up. So he still holds the shot, Takarua. Just waiting for that match next door, Norfolk Island and Malta. With Malta leading 7-4 after 6 ends. Maybe tuck the jack around a wee bit, or just draw it dead. Get into a defensive situation.
Handy bowl.
Cool. Yeah, that is good.
Bottom left.
Yep.
Decisions again for Lee Schreiner. May opt to play the backhand through Aiden's pink bowl with just 3 or 4 feet of weight. If you go in off the inside of that, you're tracking the jack back to the green bowl of Lee's, John, that sits at 8 o'clock.
Or he might come up and have a look.
Yeah, big chance.
Oh, here we go. So that is the option. The shot bowl looks to be almost jack level. He knows he's got second and third shots.
I think it's going to potentially hold a tiny amount. That's half a bowl wide.
Yeah. Jammed it up a bit for that shot next time. And you think Takarua will play a similar shot that he played last time, coming forehand. He would, as we know that Schreiner has got second and third shots. Schreiner has one to play. Take that third shot out of play. Oh no, so here's an opportunity, although his previous bowl probably has made it more difficult for him. For Lee Schreiner.
It's a lonely bowl, that pink one.
Yeah.
He may opt, we've seen him be quite happy to go to the drive.
Yeah.
If he's got third shot, which was indicated that he did, wasn't it, that third shot?
Yep.
If he's got third shot, it may just be more worthwhile just to drive that pink ball off for two.
Yep.
If you miss wide on your backhand, there's chances of a bit of good fortune. Be interesting to see what weight.
He might decide to go forehand onto that and take the pink off.
Yeah. Find out very shortly.
Just go forehand, looking to cut under and take that shot, and that's a great track from Lee Schreiner. He might just get a rebound. Oh, gee. He's looking. How did you miss that, Lee? Those bowls just won't do what you want them to sometimes. Hey, I think that's another replay because you could see the options there for him. One was to take out that pink shot as he undercut his second shot nicely. He was slightly narrow for that, so then there's the other bowls that would come into play, and he would have missed the jack by, looked to be about 4 1/4 centimetres. Here we go. Bang, bang, and if that had taken it, he was up 3.
He had every chance.
Or 2
there.
anyway, yeah, 2. So it was a single though to Aidan Takarua in this second set. He scored on the last 3 ends, and he'll be relieved about that. This area of the rink is getting a lot of play. Matt looks to be 4 or 5 lengths out. Hard to tell sometimes with Aidan whether he likes it or not, but this looks to be one that he quite likes. What's his weight like though? Is it swinging past?
This direction has been a thorn in his side. Just some looser bowls than he would have liked to have played.
Got to put that loose in context, don't we? You know,
Looser, yeah, like this.
most of us would be thinking, wow, what a great start. I've played a corker.
They've got very high standards.
Yeah.
But like it's the reason they've won what they've won, John, because they're striving for perfection all the time.
When you consider the players that they've beaten along the way to get here, high quality players, and Takarua had to knock over several New Zealand representatives, champions, past champions, and Schreiner, of course. Well, as you mentioned earlier, and I agree with you, when you line up in the Australian singles and you see, oh, I've got Schreiner, that's it, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And but the players that would have been there and played against him, high quality all the way, so steady.
He just plays intelligent bowls too, John, so always giving himself a chance. And I know he missed, he didn't get an ideal result with his last bowl in the previous end, but he played it with weight to give himself a chance that even if it wasn't perfect, he had a chance of going inside out onto the jack or removing Aiden's bowl. So it's just smart play as we see Aiden on the backhand. He's 1 down on the head, 2 up on the card.
Well, you'll remember that he was 3-1 up early on in the first set and then dropped to 3, so that's certainly the big change in that game as Takarua looks to make the adjustment.
Still slightly overplayed, but he'll be pleased with how that sits.
Yeah.
Lee now on the forehand.
Taking the hoodie off as the sun appears.
He'll be disappointed with that one.
Well, we won't see much of a change to Aiden Takarua play that same hand. He was not a mile away from just tickling the jack back. If he could move that and tuck it in behind his opponent's bowl, he'd be grinning inwardly at least.
So he's opting here for his backhand here. Is he winding up here, John? Maybe going real quick. Aiden Takarua. Lee's bowl's low, so chances here.
So it was a hole and he found it.
I don't mind.
Well, he's got 2, if he leaves his own there, he's got the 2 closest to the 2 metre mark, isn't he?
Well, that's what you see from the player's end. The logic was sound, but he'll be disappointed that he's not quite managed to do it. So we're going to see. You'd expect the 2 here from Lee. So what we should see is last end all square.
No.
Oh, that's a commentator's curse if ever I saw one.
Yeah.
You're welcome, New
Looked to be
Zealand.
whistling a bit.
3-4. End 7, the final end now of this set. If it's drawn, Lee wins. If Lee scores 2 shots, he wins. Otherwise, John, we will go to that 3-end tiebreak that we've seen so many times.
Well, I'd be quite happy with that.
I mean, I could watch another 20 ends of this and be pleased. Very high standard.
So, in a 21 shot match, it's what, 12-9 to Schreiner. And you'd be thinking, oh, that's still on, still anyone's game.
Still
but instead of that, we're
of
at
hours.
the last end of the second set. It could be all over in a few minutes. The story of that first set was Takarua scored a 3 on the second to be 3-1 up, and then dropped a 3 on the next end. So Schreiner was in ahead 4-3. Takarua scored a 2. He was leading 5-4. Schreiner scored a 2. He was leading 6-5. And then Schreiner finished it off with a single and a 2 to take it 9-5. So it was very much tit for tat in that first set, with each of them favouring one end, scoring on one particular end, one direction. That's a good name for a group, isn't it? One direction.
Someone should think of that.
Yeah, I think so. And now we're seeing singles only, apart from that 2 that Schreiner scored on the second end. It's 4-3.
Good bowl there from Aiden Takarua. Needs to win this end to force a 3-end tiebreak. Lee Schreiner just needs to score 1 shot, and it might be this one. Or maybe it won't be. I think he thought that was a chance, John. I much prefer as a broadcaster, it's been enjoyable, this game and the previous one, for players that show their emotion. You know, we often, the top players, and it's fair enough, are taught not to. They look exactly the same if they play a good bowl or a bad bowl. Much easier in a broadcast when you see the players that are excited to play good shots and irritated when they don't.
we should see irritation about now. Yep, we slap on his thigh, and not for the first time in this match, playing that hand in this direction, Aidan Takarua has misread the green.
Stalking after this one. Needs it to hold. He just needs to score one shot, remember. How hard can it be? He'll be thinking to himself.
So I suppose first up for Aidan, it's to score one.
Yeah, he just needs to not drop the shot on this end, John,
yeah.
and then think about the 3-end tie break. You know, the blood pressure will be going up, the heart will start pounding. Lee's got one bowl to save the set. Aidan's got two.
What's your green like, Aidan? Did you remember? Yes, indeed. So he's going to bring it in for the second shot, maybe. That's the green. It's been coming from there. What's your weight like? Sit, sit. Whoa, not enough. Fractionally over.
Well,
but still, he's got one remaining, and he might just have to be a dead draw. Schreiner, of course, wants to prevent a situation where Takarua comes back to the mat needing just to draw one to win the set. So he wants to take that advantage that Takarua has away from the New Zealander and force him into a shot that he might not be all that comfortable with.
I think you'll want him to have to play a bowl, and even if that means you try and drive the bowl off and leave Aidan with 3 or 4 feet to draw, at least you're holding the win. And that is the decision here from Lee.
He's asking for a wow,
clean through. He was just trying to force Aidan to play a bowl.
Yep.
So that was all about trying to add pressure, John, not necessarily playing a perfect shot, but just saying, look.
And also he's explaining to Aidan what went on. Did you see that, mate? Wasn't I on the line? You thought I was really on the line there?
Well,
so Takarua is up by 4-3.
How hard? I wouldn't be trying too hard here, John. I'm not good enough.
No.
I'm not good enough to back myself to not fold my bowl out or give the shot away or something else horrific.
But Aidan, really, you know, this is a challenge for him too, isn't it? If I'm playing in the final and I need this, he wasn't trying.
If he's
too
playing
hard.
in the final and he needs it, he's fallen short.
yeah, that's right. I was thinking he's going to play this as if it's really means something, but he had the set anyway. So he wins this by 5-3.
I'm going to toss a coin.
We get your wish, mate.
Oh, it's we build it as a trans-Tasman clash, and that we should have built it as a trans-Tasman tussle or a trans-Tasman something else.
Between Trans-Tasman
Titans. Yeah, but I wasn't clever enough to get the copyright.
Right. So Pauline Seaton now realises she hasn't got a coin in her pocket,
and
or if she has, she can't find it.
She's standing there alone because Lee's gone
Where
to the
is
loo.
it? She's thinking, I'm sure I've had a coin here.
We've lost both of them, John. We've lost the two.
Those players, of
the
course.
2 players. They've disappeared.
Picked it up.
So we'll just wait. Pauline maybe she'll think, oh, no, I can't put that away because they're going to be using it. So I'll just stand here. I'll just stand here and wait. And look at the crowd that's gathered here to watch this game. First up this morning between New Zealand and Australia, and take this opportunity again to thank those who've tuned in to watch this broadcast. 1,200 watching live on the Bowls New Zealand YouTube channel. If you have not yet subscribed and you struggled to find this broadcast, please click the subscribe button, and that means that you'll be notified when we are live. We've got 2 more days, John, of coverage here at the World Champion of Champions Singles. 3 games to be broadcast tomorrow and 4 games on the finals day, which is Saturday, live on Sky Sport and the Bowls New Zealand YouTube channel. It'll be 2 quarterfinals and 2 finals, so plenty left to come. If you subscribe, you won't miss out.
And I think you've just redefined the description of crowd, Alex.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Three's, they say three's a crowd.
Yeah, that's right. 2's company, 3's a crowd. So we have got a crowd here.
They say 3's a crowd, so maybe we've got crowd plural, so I can see at least 6 in the background.
Yeah.
Here we go, 3-end tie break. Meanwhile, my coffee's gone cold because the game's been too enthralling.
Right, coming in the non-favoured direction for the New Zealander, who has the jack first up. Placed pretty much on the 2 metre mark. Right, the learnings now. What has Takarua done coming this direction previously? He's overweighted it, hasn't he? So he's this time not overweighted it at all. So I think he'd be more comfortable with that. Still not quite the deadly accurate draw that we know Aidan Takarua is capable of. Most of the other games have finished on ring 2, which is to the left of your picture there. There's, I think, one game still going, so they might be into a tiebreaker as well.
I would imagine that we'll see the players start to gather around. John, that often happens at these events, that when you finish playing, you go, well, what else is happening on the greens?
All those games have finished there, so more results will be going into the system, viewers. So shortly you'll be able to update all those situations. As I mentioned earlier, some players have played 5, most have played 4, some have played just 3. Oh, now it's Aidan's turn to crouch down, just reassess, wondering whether that quiche was in fact the right meal beforehand.
Looked like a delightful quiche, I must say.
Yeah.
And what a bowl there from
top
Lee.
one. So the pressure is on now. Lee Schreiner responds well. He's got the shot and in a very good position. So Takarua, as you would imagine, changing his hand here. This familiar stalk of his.
Sometimes he leaves his arm up the entire way.
Yeah, yeah.
Would tire me out. Just reaching past, so he's got the 2 bowls essentially near the ditch. But not really a safe second.
No.
So Lee unable to draw a second shot. This is fraught with danger for Aidan because there'll be this temptation to go, well, I could cut the jack back on the forehand. The stress being, what happens if he flicks your own pink ball out that sits at 11 o'clock? You're just going to drop
He's got 3.
a 3.
Yeah. With 1 to play, so yeah, you're right.
It's going to be brave, but this is a big bowl.
I want to close your eyes, everyone, if you're a New Zealand fan. I know it's not an out-and-out rock. Oh, he's taken that wider line again, I think. Gee.
Yeah, look at this. It's just going to go drifting past. So he was being brave. That was the smartest weight to play that with, because you wouldn't have flicked your own bowl completely off the head, and you would have stuck with it. But he's on the wide side, and Lee Schreiner with a half chance here. If he can play a perfect bowl, it's worth a 2 at a minimum, but the jack only has to move, what, a foot, John, back for a 3 here?
Yeah, for 3, and if he stays with it, starting with a 4, you're in the box seat. Looking to draw 2 or move the jack back for a sensational start to this tiebreaker. He looks excited. He's pushed it wide, has he? It's not going to come in from out there. So I think Takarua might be quite relieved to see that it's just 1.
A big sigh of relief there from the 1,200 New Zealanders tuned in watching. And 1 to Lee Schreiner. 1-0 after 1. Play in this direction now.
Second end of the tiebreaker in this match between the Australian and New Zealand singles champions, Lee Schreiner and Aidan Takarua. Schreiner making sure that this is maximum length jack down to the 2-metre mark. We'll see where he's got the mat. Right back as well. That's his green.
This is nicely done.
Yeah.
Look at that. What a bowl. Light smattering of applause from the 3 crowds.
This might suit Takarua because he has tended on the narrow side, on the narrow bowl, being a bit narrow with his green coming in this direction. So
Beautiful delivery.
yeah. It's tracking well, isn't it? This is down to weight now.
This is incredibly close here from Aidan Takarua. That's just
Yeah, fallen.
that's really good. What else can you say?
Down.
Yep, you're down.
Confuses me when you hold a paddle up and I'm down.
Lee on the backhand.
These 2 unbeaten players. It was always interesting that they were drawn in the same section.
Just saw the eyes cast to the heavens there. And Aidan Takarua, I've played a bit of bowls with Aidan. I think he's locked in here. I expect to see. I'm going to go and say it, John. 2 shots in about 20 seconds time.
Yep. Well, he's picked that green again, I think, Alex.
Once he gets his first bowl there, the second one usually follows. Well, it was worth 2. He's only got 1. I
Yeah.
was wrong, but I think I was right.
How far behind is it, please?
Lee with no back bowls yet. So playing his forehand. What a game of bowls.
Yeah. He knows it. It doesn't need much of a touch to get up for shot.
Oh, look at this. If he clears the front. He's done it.
Clear the front.
He's done it.
Oh,
what a
lovely
bowl.
Great bowl.
Worth 2.
Gee. Well, for Takarua, it's a matter of 3 in a row here. Put back one of those 2 that's been popped out. Let's have a look at his reaction here. He's walked down halfway. Oh, he might be a bit wider, is he, or not?
The green was perfect.
Yeah, well, shots in his mind now. What does he think? It's
So Lee's holding 2.
yeah.
He's just played a bowl on the forehand.
He'll probably change, do you think, and come down and just settle in amongst those pink?
Probably, yeah. You see you've got the 3 pink bowls
Yeah.
directly past.
Tuck the jack round the corner and get 3.
Look at this. Everyone's watching on, John.
Yeah.
Everyone else is finished.
So you can see the various uniforms there of the players. There he is, playing in that same hand as Takarua, looking to bring it into those pink or settle on the jack and tuck it away for 3, and that might be what he does. He does tuck it away for 3.
That's just outstanding bowls, John. Absolutely outstanding. And Aiden Takarua under a lot of pressure here. He's played the backhand 3 times and played it well, but he may think perhaps I've got more chances on the forehand if I can clear that front bowl. And that's the chat here. What do I do? The forehand is the temptation, but if you've played 3 good bowls on your backhand, John, maybe you think, oh, I just need to take a bit of weight off. I don't know. I'm glad I'm not Tom.
Yeah. I like that, eh? Just a laugh about it. That's great attitude. Stay on the same hand.
And
Just draw it dead, mate. You're right. No
That's
hassle.
That's sound logic, because he's let it go nicely 3 times on the backhand.
Yep.
Huge bowl.
Looks to be a wider track than he's taken, doesn't it? Yeah. So a 3 there to Lee Schreiner. And that gives him a 4-0 lead in this best of 3 semi-final. A semi-final. Where did that come out? Best of 3 tiebreaker.
Maybe you're predicting the future, John.
Oh.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Well, this is one of those matches that we'll remember as being of final quality.
Yeah, great bowls. And
Nothing much for Aiden Takarua to do here but score something that hasn't happened in this match,
can you imagine if he picks up a 4 and we go to a 4th end?
particularly coming in this direction.
Yeah, true. It's the direction Aiden's been struggling in. For Aiden, it's about trying to be... Obviously, your first 3 bowls have to stay on the rink, and you'd want them to be slightly past. See if you can find some magic with your 4th one. It's just 2 exceptional bowls from Lee on that previous end to totally turn it around. Cleared the front with his 3rd bowl on the forehand, and then snicked the jack to the left on the backhand for 3. Unbelievable. Oh, that's plenty of room, John.
Takarua not messing around, just goes through that typical routine of his.
Stranger things have happened.
Well, not the start he wanted. In fact, oh, gee. Yeah, he could blow it over, I think.
That's brilliant.
Just very close to the ditch. He was almost at a stage where he could have packed his bowls.
They actually
no more play.
We would have seen
Yeah.
We would have seen a handshake.
Yeah. He might just reach it. He might too. Look, he might just pop that into the ditch and say, "Thank you very much, Aiden." Yep, he's seeking it. Let's see. Can we see? Yeah, he was looking for that bowl. It just needed to blow it over.
Look at that. It's
Yeah.
literally overhanging.
Hell. There are 1,000 greens around the country in which that ball would have just kept going from that.
This bowl needs to be past the head as well. Maybe trying to create a 4, no point. Just
I don't think this will hold up.
no.
I think this is a game over, isn't it?
Here we go. We're going to see the
Yeah.
shake of the hand.
Yeah. What a good game that is. One disappointed Aiden Takarua, but he won't be, because he's played some exceptional bowls here, the young man. First time national champion of New Zealand. A member of you see on his cap an under 26 cap he's got on, so that's an indication of his youth. And Lee Schreiner, of course, multiple times Australian Open champion, has won this event before, and it is the Australian, this battle of the Australian and New Zealand champions. It is the Australian Lee Schreiner who has won and retains his unbeaten record.